Hello everybody and welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to another of my misunderstood movie reviews, and today I have chosen to do a misunderstood movie review on the 2007 action science fiction thriller I Am Legend, a film that is directed by Francis Lawrence and it stars Will Smith, Alice Braga, and that's pretty much it. Now this film focuses on Will Smith's character Robert Neville, who is, so he thinks, the last remaining human in civilization, as some years previously there was a massive virus exposed upon the world. 99% of the population was wiped out or mutated into some form of nocturnal creature. So he is the last remaining survivor, and he is a scientist, and he still believes that he can find a cure for this virus that has wiped out humanity. However, he is struggling to stay sane, being on his own. His only companion is a dog, a German Shepherd, and he's constantly trying to capture these creatures so that he can run tests and try and continue his research and find a cure. Right, I Am Legend. Now, I do remember watching this when it first came out. I went to the cinema to see it. I'm a big fan of this story. It's a very famous science fiction story written by Richard Matheson. It's been adapted twice before. The Last Man on Earth and The Omega Man. The Last Man on Earth was Vincent Price and The Omega Man, Charlton Heston. I used to like The Omega Man. I used to watch that film a lot when I was growing up. I liked it. But I always felt like there was a definitive version of this film that could be made and would be bloody awesome. Is this film that definitive film? No, it isn't. And it really isn't. There's no sense pretending that it is. They make some, I think, errors in this film that contributed to it not being, in my opinion, the incredible film it could have been. However, this series of films that I do, misunderstood movie reviews, is me trying to shine a light on a film that has got a lot of stick over the years sometimes, or sometimes they've been box office failures, which this wasn't. It did actually make quite a lot of money. And maybe get audiences to re-look at them. And I remember the first time I saw this film, and I was quite disappointed with it. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't what I wanted for the most part. I thought the bits with Will Smith on his own, with his dog, wandering around this completely empty city, him, that sort of stuff, they nailed it. They nailed that side of it. The loneliness, even some of the, when it showed some of the stuff that was going on in the past and how it all happened, and flashback scenes, decent, good. The effects, for the most part, were good here. However, I think where they dropped the ball massively with this film, and it reconfirmed it when I watched it again recently to prepare for this review, because I've only ever seen it once when I went to the cinema for the first time, and then I've watched it again for the second time a few days ago to prepare for this review. I've got it in my collection, I just haven't watched it since I got it again. So what I think they got wrong here in this film was they decided to go with CGI for the creatures. Massive mistake. Massive mistake. They look terrible for the most part. And the ending. In fact, any ending you want to give, really, because on the Blu-ray version of this, and maybe even the DVD version as well, there's an alternative ending as well, and they're both really not satisfying. They both really try and give you some form of happy ending, and they are both vastly different. In one, Will Smith survives, in the other he doesn't, but even in the one he doesn't, it's still a fairly happy ending. Whereas the ending that this film should give it doesn't have a happy ending, generally speaking. It's pretty bleak. And I think in the book, it's the creatures in the night are vampires, and the thought pattern from the author around that was he used to get scared about the thought of like Dracula and one vampire. He says, well, imagine if there was a whole world full of nothing but vampires really, and very, very few humans, and that is, to him, was terrifying. And he's right, it is. So I think in every version that we've ever seen, they haven't been vampires. I haven't seen the Vincent Price one, I'll be honest, the Last Man on Earth version, but I don't think there were vampires in that one either. So why they keep deviating away from this story, I think they need to stick to the original story here and deliver its vision. And this film does it 70%. 70% of it they've delivered on the vision of the book, I think. Obviously in a more modern setting and things like that. And there are some fantastic moments in this film. Really great moments. Will Smith does a great job here. The moment when he's talking to the mannequin, and there's that really tense scene where he's talking to that mannequin Fred, where he gets basically ambushed by these creatures. There's another great scene where the dog runs off into the dark, chasing a deer, and you know that's not where it should be, and then Will Smith is absolutely terrified around going this building in the dark trying to find his dog, knowing these creatures are there. There is some really, really fantastic tension-filled scenes in this film, and I do think it does deliver on quite a lot of areas. And the inevitable scene with the dog is heartbreaking, and I don't feel as though I'm spoiling a film here that's been out since 2007, and it's a well-known story as well. But they get a lot right here in this film. I just think the decisions they made in regards to the ending and the CGI creatures is what failed this film. I think if they'd have nailed the ending and the creatures, I'm not saying they should have gone with vampires, but something better than what they went with, because they didn't feel particularly threatening to me, and they certainly didn't look good. So there is a lot here to enjoy in this film. I do think it's harshly judged by many film fans. I think there's a lot that works in this film, but obviously there are things that don't work in this film. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I'll be honest, I watched it with my wife who'd never seen the film, and I enjoyed it second time round more than I did when I went to the cinema to see it. I was really, really hoping for something different at the cinema, and I do remember being disappointed, but I did enjoy it a little bit more second time round. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me for this one. It's worth checking out if you've never seen this film, and I certainly do recommend the Charlton Heston version. Again, it's not how it should be in regards to the book and stuff, but it is a good version of it as well, and it's quite a fun film to watch. So that is my misunderstood movie review for I Am Legend. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button. It is very helpful to the channel, and of course if you are new to Screen Stars, please consider clicking that subscribe button. It's very helpful too, and I upload content very, very regular. So thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you back with more reviews, etc. on Screen Stars very, very soon.